woke up in a historic playground where fun dates back to the 16th century. Things are pretty old school here. Really old school. We get our thrills in a giant sandbox and spend all day playing in the water, where adventures come by the hundreds. This is a place where time stands absolutely still. But we can never seem to.
Ilocos Region comprises of 4 provinces, 1 independent component city, 8 component cities, 116 municipalities, and 3,265 barangays. In the early history, the region was first inhabited by the Aboriginal Negritos before they were pushed by successive waves of Austronesian immigrants that penetrated the narrow coast. Igorot in the interior, Ilocanos in the north, Pangasinans in the south, and Zambales in the southwestern area settled the region. The Spanish arrived in the 16th century and established Christian missions and governmental institutions to control the native population and convert them to Catholicism. In 1901, the region came under American colonial rule, and in 1941 under Japanese occupation. During 1945, the combined American and the Philippine Commonwealth troops, including with the Ilocano and Pangasinan guerrillas, liberated the Ilocos region from Japanese forces during the Second World War. Several modern presidents of the Republic of the Philippines hailed from the region: Elpidio Quirino, Ferdinand Marcos, and Fidel V. Ramos. Ayan na pinapitang sa kapanan dito ay Ilocos region. Let's take you to some historical and tourist spot of Ilocos region. First is the Paway Church, also known as Agustinian Church, is a UNESCO World Heritage listed site and a national cultural treasure. It is located at Lawag City, the capital city of Ilocos Norte. This historical church is known for its architecture with a mixture of Baroque and Gothic designs. It is considered as one of the oldest and most beautiful church in the Philippines. Cape Pujidor Lighthouse. This lighthouse was a plan of the Spaniards to illuminate Philippines. It is the highest elevated lighthouse with 65 feet tall and one of the most visited lighthouses in the Philippines. The tower is made with bricks, and the main building is where an old museum. The Sinking Bell Tower is built in 1612 by the Agustinian friars, who did not immediately realize that they built the tower in a sandy soil. This is a mysterious bell tower because it is believed that it sinks 1 inch per year. You have to crouch at the entrance to enter. Malacanang of the North. The 2-story mansion is now a presidential museum in Paway, Ilocos Norte. The museum once served as the legal residence of the Marcos family. Ilocanos call it a classic bahay na bato. The house blends Spanish time architecture elements and highlights window sills. The Malacanang is facing the beautiful view of Paway Lake. Kapurpurawan Rock Formation got its name from Ilocano word purao, means white. It's an art of nature featuring landscape of ivory limestone tucked in the coast of Burgos, Ilocos Norte. A breathtaking rock formation sculpted by natural waves. While trekking, you will see a statue of Biag ni Lamang, an Ilocano epic poem. Saud Beach is dubbed as the Boracay of the North because of its long stretch creamy white sand shore and blue waters. Travel magazine in America recognized Saud Beach as one of the 25 most beautiful beaches in the world. Suba Sand Dunes, the product of wave action during the high tides, causes sand deposited offshore to form sandbars, is located at Suba, Paway, Ilocos Norte. Sosuna Sea of Clouds, Apayao Road, Ilocos Norte. Many riders go in this location because when the sun showed up, the view is magnificent. Bangging Windmills is a project by National Renewable Energy Laboratory. There are 20 wind turbines towering with a height of 17 meters that stretch along a 9-kilometer shoreline facing the West Philippine Sea, located in the municipality of Bangi, Ilocos Norte. This project evolved into a tourist spot destination.
Take a journey through history. Ilocos is a history buff paradise. It is home not to one, but to UNESCO World Heritage Site for you to enjoy. Vigan, the province capital, is filled to the brim with ancestral homes, dedicated museums, and other historical landmarks that tell a colorful story of life in the Spanish colonial period. Santa Maria Church stands proudly on its hilltop stage and entices tourists with its unique borough. Ilocos also accommodates places to stay. As a province rich with history, many of the accommodations you'll find in Ilocos also have their own colorful stories to tell, whether it's at the heart of the historic city or near its hidden beaches. Ilocos has options for all types of travelers. First, heritage homes. Extend your immersion into history by booking your stay in one of the many accommodations within Vigan. Ilocos also captures the perfect view. Since Ilocos is a coastal location, the Spaniards built several watchtowers around the province to protect its communities from pirates. Two of these towers, the Bantay Bell Tower and the Bateria Watchtower, have stood the test of time and are still intact today. And the municipalities of Bantay and San Esteban have respectively opened them to tourists. Make sure you don't miss the Bantay Bell Tower's unparalleled view of Vigan, and the Bateria Watchtower pictures view of the sea. A visit to Ilocos feels like reading the pages of your favorite book. Every landmark you go has a century-old story it can't wait to tell. From tales of the Spanish colonial era to well-preserved mythologies of the Ilocano people, you'll always find something new to learn and to see and what to do in Ilocos Sur.
We could get it right summer lady. You've been on my mind, I'm waiting. The moment you arrive, yeah, we could reignite high Fahrenheit, high, baby. We could get it right summer lady.
Good day, everyone. I am Nice, and I will discussing you about historical places and tourist spots in La Union province. So, I will be your tour guide for a while. Arat na, let's go to La Union. Welcome to La Union. I hope you find the one. Memorable experience you've always been looking for. Thing about adventure is like a game of hide and seek. There are hidden wonders behind well-known destinations. So, come and find me in La Union.
Blessed day. I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world.
The first in the list are Bistono Beach in La Union, where waves and surfers met. It's no surprise that the surfing scene in La Union has created a platform of opportunities, making it one of the most sought-after places to go during summer. In the heart of San Juan, La Union lies Orbistono Beach, one of the country's premier surfing spots. Our Bristondo Beach is the primary spot where you'll see surfers test out the waves, day or night. Make sure you visit from July to October, south swell, or November to March, north swell. There are different schools and surfing camps that offer lessons to the local and tourists who want to learn how to surf properly. Luke Landrigan. It is the number one of surf school in the Philippines and is affectionately known to all surf camp. They offer the finest surf equipment and an intentionally accredited surf training program. Another surf school in Orbistondo Beach is the La Union Surf School. Although some might think that's only San Juan offers surfing, other towns also have. The temple attraction along the entrance wall are large stone statues of the 18 Chinese saints. It has also a meditation room with grand staircase and red kneelers, embellished with traditional Chinese headdress and richly colored robe. Next is Bayuang Grape Farm. Grapes has been long grown in La Union, but it wasn't until photos and articles of Bayuang La Union grape farms have gone viral. It is sunny and warm here in La Union. That is why it is a good place to plant grapes. San Gabriel, La Union, the archipelago of 7,107 islands that make up the Philippines, is blessed with the unparalleled natural wonders. The northern Luzon province of La Union, on the other hand, is home to both.
Hi, my report is about native Ilocano songs. Native Ilocano songs. The Ilocanos have a handful of meaningful ethnic songs. These songs narrate life stories of a narrative Ilocanos, which are mostly about courtship, marriage, occupation, and life. First, Osi-Osi. These ethnic songs portrays the traditional ways of courtship. Napatig Abinay, cherished seed. This song basically uses metaphors comparing a woman to a seed. Asin ti agayat kenka, who is in love with you. This song expresses an insistent love. Duadem pay pai, few still doing. This is an ethnic song that gives the idea that the lover feels that his loved one doubts him. The man asks the lady to understand him and convince her to believe that his love is true. Nak kad tidilawin, do not criticize me, is an Ilocano song that expresses patriotism. This song conveys service to love of country. Kasasaad ti kinabalasan. The life of a maiden is an advice of a young maidens to consider carefully their plans of getting married.
The dances of Ilocanos. The Ilocano ethnic dances are mostly performed during rituals and celebrations. So these are the dances of Ilocanos. First is Binigan Bigat, or every morning. It is a courtship dance that narrates the story of a boy who is in love with a girl from whom he asks pity. Manang Biday. It is a courtship dance usually performed by young people. Sabunganay, or a banana blossom. It symbolizes a young lady who is still too young to be courted. Next is Pandango Lawagenya. It is a courtship dance performed by either young or old Ilocanos. Chara Pasokine. It is a dance during birthday parties and festivities. Vestido Norte, or assorted dances from the north. This dance is a combination of the different Ilocano dance steps, manifesting thrift as a trait of the people. Lastly is Rabung, or bamboo shoot. It is a dance glorifying the bamboo shoot as a delicacy of the Ilocanos. In Rabung, the participants sing the lyrics themselves. So these are the poems of Ilocanos. Stora Benigna, before 1884. A poem by Leona Florentino. Leon XIII, before 1884. A poem by Leona Florentino dedicated to Pope Leo XIII. Ti Langit Ti Inanamatayo, the first Ilocano short story written by Isabelo de los Reyes. Sangkaripit Adandanyo, 1926. The first Ilocano anthology of poems. And lastly is the Sasaynik, 1948, the first Ilocano novel by a female author, Stella Rimorin Gordo.
These are the production services in Ilocos Region. First is palay. Palay was the major temporary crop in the region in terms of area planted. This for all provinces in Ilocos Region, palay was the top temporary crop. The second is the corn. The Ilocos Region ranks second among the regions in the country in terms of volume of corn production in mile per hectare during the period. The third is tobacco. The major cash crop of the Ilocos Region has an undeniable impact on the agricultural, economic, social life of every Ilocano family. They are also raising a livestock such as chicken. Chicken was the primary poultry activity among the provinces in the region. Aside from raising a chicken, they are also raising goats, pigs, and carabaos. The major permanent crops in terms of the number of trees were banana, ipil-ipil, coconut, mango, and guava.
Famous personalities in Ilocos Region. The Marcos family. Their family make history in Philippines. They have established themselves in the country of politics. Ferdinand Marcos Sr. was a Filipino politician and lawyer who was the 10th President of the Philippines from 1965 to 1986. His wife is Imelda Marcos. They have 3 children, Amy Marcos, Irene Marcos, and Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. He is a Filipino politician who served as a senator from 2010 to 2016. BBM will run as a president in election 2022. Next is Ann Curtis. The beautiful and charming Ann Curtis, a Filipina actress, is of Ilocano descent. Curtis' mother is from the province of Pangasinan. Fernando Poe Jr., the former king of Philippine movies, is of Ilocano descent. His father is an Ilocano mestizo actor from Pangasinan. Next is Robin Padilla. The popular action star is of Ilocano descent. Last, Colleen Garcia, a co-host of ABS-CBN Showtime, traced back his Ilocano roots to La Union.
Athletes in Ilocos Region in the field of sports in history. The first is Andrew Ganigan, the first boxer to be named Hawaiian Punch, another Ilocano born in Waipahu. Ganigan was named number 97 in the ring list of 100 greatest punchers of all time. The second is David Bonivax. David became the team captain of the track and field. He was recruited to represent the Philippines in the decathlon and won the gold in the Southeast Asian Games in 1997. The third one is Teofilo Ildefonso, born in Pidig, Ilocos Norte in 1902. Ildefonso was said to be the father of the modern breaststroke, making him the only one Filipino to get 2 Olympics medals. The fourth one is Jesus Salud. He won the WBA or World Boxer Association Super Bantamweight title on December 11, 1989. And last one is John White Sipin, the first Filipino-American baseball player to play an entire season is an Ilocano. Sipin became one of the best second basemen in Japanese baseball during the 1970s. Presenting the Philippine national heroes from Ilocos Region. Juan Luna was a patriot, but he was more known as the great Filipino painter. He was born in Bandoc, Ilocos Norte. In 1884, he painted his best-known work, the Spolarium. In 1896, he was captured and imprisoned at Fort Santiago on suspicion of being with the Katipuneros. He died of sickness on December 7, 1899. Artemio Ricarte, the unconquerable hero of revolution. Born in Batac, Ilocos Norte on October 20, 1866. He was a gentle public school teacher who became a dashing revolutionary general. Isabelo de los Reyes, last of the propagandists, gifted son of Leonora Florentino, the first poetess of the Philippines. Born in Vigan, Ilocos Sur on July 7, 1864. He aroused the hostility of the friars and government officials when he openly criticized the evils of the Spaniards' rule and he advocated reforms. He was the founder of the first Philippine Labor Union as well as the first independent Filipino Catholic Church. Father Jose Apolonio Burgos, one of the Filipino martyr priests, collectively called Gomborza, was born in town of Vigan, Ilocos Sur. He may not have made contribution in the most outstanding way to the establishment of the Philippine freedom, but he did make the first important contribution, both his life and death, toward the achievement of independence of the Philippines. Diego Silang, an Ilocano pride. His shown bravery and patriotism is an inspiration to every Filipino. He was the greatest Ilocano revolutionary leader during the Spanish colonization. Diego Silang y Andaya was born in Aringay, Pangasinan on December 16, 1730. He was a messenger of a Spanish priest in Vigan, Ilocos Sur. He wanted to end abuses and to overthrow Spanish government in Ilocos and establish an independent Ilocos nation. But Ilocos was not freed as he wanted under his leadership because he was killed on May 28, 1763 by a Spanish Ilocano mestizo, Miguel Vicos, who was one of his friends. After his death, the revolt was continued by his wife, Gabriela. Maria Josefa Gabriela, known as Gabriela Silang, was born on March 19, 1731 in Canyogan, Santa Ilocos Sur. Married to Diego Silang, a man with great intelligence, courage, and determination who believed and fought towards the independence of the Filipino people. After Diego was assassinated, Gabriela vowed to avenge his death and continue the struggle. She is in great affliction but had no time to lose. Gabriela began to assist people living in other cities. People call her Generala. Spaniards never before felt threatened by a Filipino woman. Ferdinand Marcos. Marcos had been elected the 10th President of the Republic of the Philippines in 1965 but declared martial law in 1972 before his final constitutionally allowed term was over, holding on to power until his overthrow by the People Power Revolution in 1986. He is a soldier awarded as Medal of Valor awardee. He saved Philippines against rebel communists through declaring martial law in 1972. President Duterte stunned the nation by allowing Marcos to be buried at the libingan ng mga bayani in Fort Bonifacio, Metro Manila, Philippines on November 18, 2016.
I will allow the burial of Marcos sa libingan ng bayani. Ang batas nagsabi sino ang pwedeng ilibing doon sa libingan. Presidents and soldiers. Huwag na muna yung iba. Marcos o si President. 5, 6, 7 tao magsabi, totoo, lumaban talaga yan. Pwedeng hindi nakapatay. Pero he was there to fight for his country. Okay na sa akin.
The outspoken Duterte hailed Marcos as the country's best ever president. Duterte said he was a president. To the Ilocanos, he was the greatest president. Why do we have to debate on that? As far as Ilocanos are concerned, Marcos is a hero.
Hi, naimbag na adlaw. I am Lady Fidelimos and I'm going to report the language used of Ilocos Region, the creation story, and the folktales of the province. Language used in Ilocos Region. Knowing what are the language used in province is a big advantage to communicate well, builds relationships, and share different thoughts, opinions, and experiences. This results of bringing peace and unity to people within the society. There are 5 languages used in Ilocos Region: the Ilocano, Pangasinense, Bolinao, Tagalog, and English. Ilocano is widely used by the majority of people. It is the 3rd largest Filipino ethno-linguistic group. This word, Ilocano, came from the word Iloco or Iloco, spells as Y. Pangasinense is spoken in the central of Pangasinan. It is the 8th largest Filipino ethno-linguistic group. The Bolinao or Bino-Bolinao language is a central Luzon language spoken primarily in the municipalities of Bolinao and Anda, Pangasinan. Most Bolinao speakers can speak Pangasinense and Ilocano. Next is the Tagalog and English. It is the medium of instruction in school. These are the few examples of Ilocano languages. Ay-ayatan ka means I love you. Naimbag nga bigat means good morning. Naimbag nga rabii means good evening. Jak amo means I don't know. The creation story of Ilocos Region. Knowing the creation story of the province is very important and significant because creation story are of central importance for the valuation of the world, for the orientation of humans in the universe, and for the basic patterns of life and culture. In short, creation story tells us how the world began. So, the creation story of Ilocos Region is Angalo. Angalo is a legendary creation giant from Ilocano methodology with pre-Hispanic origins in the Ilocos region of the Philippines. Angalo was the first man and son of the god of building. Angalo's head touched the sky and he could easily walk from the Ilocos region to Manila in one step. Through Angalo's action, he shaped the hills and mountains of Luzon, formed the oceans, and put up the sky, sun, moon, and stars. Pre-Hispanic Ilocano people attributed the sound of thunder as Angalo's voice, earthquake as his movements, and rainbows as his hanging G-string. Angalo was not alone. He had a giant wife named Aran, and together they had 3 daughters whom the Ilocano, Eta, and Igorot people are descendants. Many geological formations are attributed to Angalo and his family. Small valleys and glanches in the Cordillera Central Mountain Range are often noted as the giant footprints of Angalo, such as found in Sudipen, La Union, and San Quintin, Abra. In addition, large caves in the Ilocos region and Abra are often described as being former shelters of Angalo's wife and his daughter. In Santa Maria, Ilocos Sur, the large Depressions and pools around Pinsal Falls are said to be created with Angalo knelt and drank from the falls. In Santa Ilocos Sur, the Banawang Gap, a water gap where the Abra River breaks the Ilocos mountain range. It's said to be created by Angalo. Long ago, the Abra region east of Ilocos mountain range was once a lake. One night, Angalo slept on the shore of the lake, and as he slept, he kicked the Ilocos range and in doing so unleashed the lake and created the Banawang Gap. Folktales of Ilocos Region. First in the list is the famous Biag ni Lamang, or the life of Lamang. It is an epic story of the Ilocano people. It is notable for being the first Philippine epic to be recorded in written form, and was the only two folk epics documented during the Philippines' Spanish colonial period. Majority of us are familiar of the story of Biag ni Lamang. It is the story of Lamang, who's very extraordinary, manifesting when he begins to speak in his early years, thus enabling him to choose his own name. And the Pasión de Nuestro Señor Jesucristo in 1621, the first Ilocano Passion and the first Philippine language Passion.
Hello everyone, my name is Lisa May Magbiray, and for today's video, I am going to tell you and show you some horror stories in some places in Ilocos Region. The first is the mystery and ritual filled Burayok Pinsal Falls of Nadbukil Mountain Town. What made this waterfall mysterious and creepy is the fact that all of the waterfalls cascading in the mountains. This one kills visitors if you will not submit to the requirement of the unseen spirits. The most common requirement is to offer a blood. Some people said that people who come here without blood offering to the unseen spirits will gonna die. Several deaths have happened here, and the residents and town folks have learned that those are visitors who did not offer a blood. From the time on, every first-time visitor who goes there is already advised to offer a blood. As you can see, the waterfall itself is an image of a white lady. Notice the photo. At the rocks are different symbols like lions, and a huge image of soldier who seems to be taking care of the waterfalls. Second is the Burgos Ancestral House and Museum. It is one of the famous museums in Vigan, being the birthhouse of Padre Jose Burgos of the famed Gomborza. The house is now a national museum. The ghost started when a visitor of the provincial capital visited the museum. The government officials, the visitors, had a third eye. Let's just give him name alias Mark. As other tourists are enjoying the old stuff they say inside, Mark felt uneasy. Being a person with a third eye, he was seeing many other tourists inside the museum, that it was only he who can see them. They are dressed in an old-fashioned way, in barong and old gowns just going around. They ascend and descend the stairs, and they are everywhere in the house. The story has spread in Vigan, and employees of the provincial capital may have known about the incidents. The next creepy destination is Capi Pujidor Lighthouse of the town of Burgos in Ilocos Norte. It is an old lighthouse that has turned to be a national treasure and heritage. There are no other houses near the lighthouse. As you approach it, it looks very vintage. When we say very vintage, it is an old-fashioned. What makes it creepy? Because of the story of Mang Ruben's that he himself experienced. Mang Ruben is the lightkeeper of the lighthouse, and because he is the lightkeeper, he memorized all the nook corners of the surroundings in what each story contained in each room. Mang Ruben said that one time he was trapped in the lighthouse and due to a typhoon, and he swore that he heard voices coming from those rooms, a crying child and a lady. Mang Ruben also said he saw ghosts of really big snake gliding those big rooms. So, those are Mang Ruben creepy tales as he himself experienced in the lighthouse. Those are the horror stories in Ilocos Region. In fact, there are many more, not just only 3 in the video earlier.
Agyaman ak unay sapay kumaadati na adalyo.